again. Turn this collaboration to a classic. Yeah, yeah. You know the time wasn't breaking me, but it's great to be free. Fuck a 5 by 9, I got some places to be. Usually carry something that'll turn your face to debris. You got no clue what it takes to be me. These motherfuckers wanna ball, I'm in the game, so it's easy to see now. Ain't the way that you ball or you fall, it's the rebound. A lot of niggas holding them burners just to beat down. Treat you like me at the bar, give you a free round. That's all they really respect these days. This paper, this work, these K's. Time flies, but a prison sentence can freeze days. A lot of niggas killing shit just to appease bays, but not me. I move out to make dough grow. That usually determine which direction the hoe go. I'm about to quit the game, trademark me a logo, and just sit back and eat good on my slow flow.
If you currently have a baby in your house, he doesn't care if you work 14-hour shifts a day and you're supposedly an honorable citizen in your community because you do that. He doesn't care if you're out there slinging pussy, butt crack, actual crack, cocaine, or weed. As long as you bring that milk back, as long as you play with him or she, and then they'll smile when they're fed and they're stimulated by play and by learning. They'll smile, they'll be happy babies. If you don't bring no food back, you'll have miserable babies, you'll have sick babies. And that's the bottom line of it. Later on, when they're socialized through schooling and society in general, then they might question what you're doing to feed them, because they're being told what is right and what is wrong. But initially, when they come out of that womb, they don't give a shit. You see, this journey for black people all around the world who are going through the European matrix, this is purely a results-based experience. That's all it is. It's all based on results and nothing more. So the conscious community, yeah, they can say, yeah, we're the Moors, we're the best for the job. No, we're the Hebrew Israelites. No, the new Wahabians are. And let me tell you this, I'm not into Islam or Nation of Islam, I'm not into it. But if you want to just dispense with all the this, that, the Nation of Islam comes out on top. It has the most members, and it's cleaned up the most niggas out there. Yes, I used the N-word. I was aware that I used it. I didn't just use it randomly, yeah? Okay. So, you can debate this and that, but that's the facts. They have the most money. They have the most exposure on a world stage. Farrakhan is good friends with world leaders. I mean, all right, Gaddafi's dead. I don't know who he's in tight with now, you know? So they're the top. It doesn't matter how clever Malachi York was or is, you know what I mean? He hasn't had as much influence as Elijah Muhammad or Malcolm X or Minister Farrakhan. Now, I've heard Farrakhan say some foul things recently, you know what I mean? Like in terms of the nappiness of our hair and our shapes of our nose, and I don't know if I misconstrued the video, but I wasn't impressed with it. But at the end of the day, they're the daddies. They're the daddies. I'm not saying you have to join them, but any organization you're saying is better is yet to prove it. Results. If we're talking results, there you go. Debate over. Now we have to ask ourselves as well, are we simplifying things by saying that these black kids who wear their pants low are signing their own death certificates? Are we simplifying that? You know? Because if we was all to conform to what Europeans say we should do, or what a lot of blacks say we should do, and we was to all wear suits and not speak in slang, would our position really change? Because we seem to have done a lot of conforming and not a lot of rebelling compared to other nations who have been in bondage and nowhere near as severe as what we've been through as a people. Is it because we seem to have tried so much things over so many years and nothing's working? We're just, even to a point, getting superstitious. I mean, it must be jinxed. It must be the low trousers. It must be the slang. It must be the dancehall music. It must be the rap. It's got nothing to do with all that. It's the results. It's getting the job done, isn't it? Isn't it more that we can't provide our sons and daughters jobs? We have to send them out there to other people to get jobs. It's got nothing to do with that. Why couldn't they work for you and have their trousers low? It's your company. You set the rules. If your product is viable, it sells. You make and you set your own standards. Let me give you a definitive example. And it's not so much these days, but you do still get it. When you go into West Indian, to be Pacific, Jamaican restaurants, and I know a lot of my London subscribers are going to back me up on this one. When you go to buy your food, some of the women are just fucking rude. Attitude. I don't know what it is. It's been like that since 80s. As far as I can remember. You always get one rude gal in there. You know what I mean? It's got an attitude. But people still frequent the shop. Why? Because when you walk past it, and you smell the cocoa bread, a bake, the patties, and you remember how good the fish was, and the rice and peas, and the Irish moss, the carrot juice. What you're not gonna do? You want to eat some good food, what tastes good. So what are you gonna do? Because she's got. No, you're going in there. You know what I mean? You just go in there, you bear her attitude, and you'll get your food, and you good. You know what I mean? What's more important to you? Getting the food you want, or just enduring her attitude for 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, or whatever. Results. The food is good. I mean, my dad wore a suit every day. I never seen my dad wear jeans. Even when he worked on the building site as a plasterer, he wore suits. He had suit jackets on and suit trousers and suit shirts. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and he couldn't provide no jobs for us, for my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? 50 Cent is providing not only a future for his own son, but people in his community and in Africa. So you could say, oh, he's so negative. Results. You tell them kids in Africa who is eating food and using computers, which they actually are going to use properly to educate themselves because they have to. They're not just going to be on it like how we are and take it for granted. You tell them that he's negative. No. Results. Same with Floyd Money Mayweather. You know, he doesn't give a shit what white people think about him. Yo, Floyd, you should fight King Kong, man. You should trade toe to toe. No, keep my brains in my head, all right? I use my Philly shell defense, keep my brains, my marbles inside my brain so I can talk to my kids when my career is finished, yeah? Right? You know what I mean? Does his own thing, yeah? He's not politically correct. Doesn't give a shit. He gives back to charities, etc., etc. So you Anton the Spot types can say, yeah, I hate that guy, but yo, what have you done for your fellow African Americans except sell them out for subscribers? Think about it, you know? And I'm going at the black man and the black woman here. How well has it worked out for you, black man? Breeding up so many children. How much input have you got in the majority of all these kids you've breeded? How many of them are going to end up dead or in prison or fucked up? Substance abuse. You know what I mean? How well has that worked out for you? You lose. Now I got the Ill Street Blues. You failed. You failed. And the thing is, I think you genuinely love all your kids. But you got lost in the European matrix. And you forgot it's not what you do, it's the way that you do it. If you want to breed a load of kids, then you're going to have to open up this polygamy dialogue and do it properly. Right? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with you necessarily having a lot of partners and children, but you have to do it right, my nigga. Said the word nigger again. I was aware I said it. I didn't use it randomly. I was aware of the context I said it. Okay, cool. Black woman. How well is this? I don't need a man. I can raise my children by myself. How well has that gone for you and the black community? You lose. You failed. In fact, to both the black man and the woman. How well is it going for you now? Cursing each other out in YouTube videos. Constantly. No matter how you feel you've been aggrieved or how right you feel you are, do you think you're getting a constructive result out of what you're doing? You lose. You know what I mean? You lose. You're not getting no results. You're not getting no results. You can't date people and it goes wrong. Then you make videos about the whole group of these people. Dating is an individual experience that when it goes right for you, you find the right partner, then you know what I mean, you get what you want. It's chemistry. It's not, oh, you black bitches, you lose. We lose. I mean, I hear you complaining about black women want thugs. Well, they're just taking on somebody who they want to fuck. That's a personal choice. That's not for you to beef about. It's a results-based thing. She's using her senses, her pheromones, to think who she's going to get the best sex and an exciting time from. You know? She's not thinking that far ahead at the moment. You know? And if you don't want a woman who makes her choices on that basis, why are you even making a video about it? You know what I mean? I mean, the way you're making these videos is like there's only one type of black woman. I mean, when you get into your, say, 50s or 60s, and you start making these videos because you can't find a partner, I'll sympathize with you a little, you know what I mean? I'll sympathize. Because sometimes people find this shit quickly, sometimes it takes time. What's so complicated that you're not getting? If you believe that all black women want thugs, and you want a black woman, well, become a thug. Or go elsewhere. End of that. Now, I want to sort of like get back to this topic and keep it on a economic, educational vibe. Because when we say we want to be successful as black people, do we mean like Europeans, Jews, and Asians? Because they all brag about what they've done with computers and technology and their financial institutions like their banks, their architecture, their buildings and commerce and motor cars and stuff like that. And they say, well, look at all of what we've done and you niggas ain't did shit, you know? And I think that pushes us into a corner. I'm saying unless we're doing what they're doing, we're not successful. And I'm not saying we should be apathetic and just lay in the cut, smoke weed all day and get drunk and, you know what I mean, and just fucking, just watch BET all day. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But should we allow them to push their standards of who they are as a barometer of who we should be as black people? Because they brag about all the shit they've got, but the black ancient Egyptians, when they was building the pyramids and writing on papyrus and, you know what I mean, hieroglyphics and opening universities, they wasn't bragging about that. They were just getting on with it. They wasn't bragging about it. They shared their knowledge with the Greeks and the Romans. And don't quote me on this, I hate doing this, because I don't have the books. But I do know the Egyptians were so advanced. There's a lot of contraptions they could have built, but they didn't, because they knew it would be detrimental to the environment. Right? Two different opposing standards of ethics, you know? What if they did go ahead and make these contraptions or machineries or chariots, whatever it was? We might not have no planet here today. Yeah? Who knows? I'm not saying that's a definite. It's a possibility. Yeah? Like I said, it's all results based. Doesn't matter what no one else thinks. Doesn't matter what no one else says. Can you live with your actions and your decisions? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. You know? Are you content? Are you happy with what you got? Are you happy with your load? You know? Set your own standards and your own bar. You know what I'm saying? Don't procrastinate, but slow down and think for a minute. How come fairness, justice, and equality are not looked on as equal, if not better, character traits than being rich and having a lot of material possession? Being more successful than the Europeans, the Japanese, and whoever else might mean simplifying shit, living more within our means and more in accordance to the environment and nature. And no, I haven't became a hippie overnight. You know what I'm saying? I haven't become a hippie yet. This is a theoretical argument, if you like. Yeah? That's what this is. And what I'm saying is if we're pushing to be the top at running banks, charging extortionate interest rates for overdrafts and loans and shit, and opening up retail chains that have children working in sweatshops in dangerous conditions, and have farmers giving away their rice, their coffee, you know what I mean? You know, having them basically giving their product away to us so we can drive Lexuses all around the place and pollute up the fucking joint even more, you know? Because we have to really think about the language what's being used, you know what I mean? Being successful in a capitalist system. And I'm obviously not talking about all blacks, because there's a lot of blacks who are integrating into the capitalist system, doing very nice for themselves. And they can't see no other way to go. But the luxury a lot of us have is we're not in the mix. So we can look at it both ways, you know? And we have to use that luxury, as I say, not to procrastinate. But we have to look at the concept of being successful in a European capitalist system and call it for what it really is. We're talking about colonialism, really. Even in 2012, we're talking about subjugating people that we have to deem as inferior to justify them propping up the system. Basically, slavery. That's what it is. That's what it is. And if we want to become that, that's our decision. It's free will. It's all about free will. You know, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. But we have a choice. This is not a judgment. I'm trying to take my emotions out of the video. This is a judgment call. We either become a dark-skinned version of the colonial European, or we start setting our own standards. And I don't want to put a downer on my people who want to repatriate back to Africa, but for us who haven't really fucked with the sub-Saharan continent like that, that ship sailed a long time ago and we can't really get back on that. We'll never be the same Africans we were before we was enslaved. We never will be. You know what I mean? I mean, look at me. I'm not going to say my surname on the video, but I have a very common European name. Look how dark-skinned I am. Look how prominent my Nubian features are. I mean, I've interacted with a lot of African women, and they're very beautiful. And I think I've dated a Kenyan, and not much more than that, because we simply just don't have that much in common, you know? Because you're used to what you're used to. And it's not just for West Indian blacks from African heritage. It's from black kids who are born in the UK and have African parents. Like back in the day, there always used to be conflict between the blacks who came directly from the sub-Saharan continent and the blacks who came from Jamaica or the West Indies. There'd always be conflicts. And you don't get so much of that conflict these days. And I think I can explain it. Because back in the day, in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, possibly the 90s, the African parents used to send their sons to college, university, and they'd do pretty much very well. Get good jobs, probably, you know what I mean, maybe run a law firm, or, you know, just do well, just doing well. Own their own business. Well, I'm not going to lie, I mean, us descendants from the Jamaican side, let's just say it's been a tough road, you know what I mean? But we've made it tough for ourselves, let's just say that, yeah? All the negative ghetto stereotypes, boom, are we that, right? But what's happened is, as generations move on and replace each other, these kids from the African parentage have nothing in common with that work ethic that the previous generation had. So what's happened to them now? If you look in the local papers, you're always seeing African kids getting caught up in the mix. Knife crime, gun crime, drug dealing, violence. And you can tell, you look at the names in the paper, and you can tell that they're African, you know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. So what's happened to them is the same socialization in the European matrix. The education system has come back to haunt them today, just like it has us. the generation that descended from West Indian parentage. So, you know, and I don't want to start this African West Indian war, but a lot of times, I mean, their parents and the kids, they'd have a smug look at us. Look at you, you're going to end up in jail. You're worthless. You're a slave baby, because the slave master never get to them. Wherever they was in the sub-Saharan continent, they was immune from what we went through. So they call us slave babies. And they used to have this smug attitude. Oh, Jamaicans, you're lazy, smoke weed, and you do nothing. But that's what their kids are doing in the European matrix now, and they ain't caught up in the mix. And these days, because some people are so stupid when you're doing videos, you have to keep putting disclaimers during the video. You know what I mean? Because they're saying, oh, why are you saying that about all of us? I'm not saying all of them. There's still some going to college, doing very well. I'm making a generalization of what I've witnessed in my borough. Yeah? Simple as, right? So these days, you can't tell African kids apart from the West Indian kids. They dress the same. They speak exactly the same. They all run in the same postcode gangs. And more importantly, to keep it in tune with the theme of the video, they all have nothing in common with the motherland. Truth be the truth. So like I'm saying, you know, we might not like them sagging their trousers how they do, but that's how they do it. You know, you have to work with what you have, you know. You have to explain to them, well, look, you have free will to do what you want. Do you think you can be successful while you're doing that? And if they say yeah, they'll have to show and prove it to you. And if it keeps failing, then you can say, well, look, you're not getting the results doing what you're doing. You're going to have to change something. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's not about you're doing this, you're doing that, you're wrong. No, it's results. Because wearing a hoodie or sagging your pants didn't make the black unemployment rate high. It didn't. That was all there before. Same with rap music or whatever, telling them not to listen to grime. Why not? Why are you telling them they shouldn't listen to grime music? Exactly. Do you have any empirical data to say listening to grime is going to make you unemployed? It doesn't make sense, you know. They need to see you pull up in a Navigator truck, you know what I mean, brand new, and they have to know that you got it from hard work, whether you're self-employed or you run your own business. Because despite popular belief, young black males are just as scared as everybody about life. You know what I mean? Have all the anxieties everyone else has. Don't let our perceived cockiness fool you. And sometimes we act like we're not aware of our situation, but we're well aware of it. We're well aware, you know? We're well aware of the perception that other people have of us who are not from our race, and the perception that some people in our race have. And sometimes it feels that you're blaming us for everything, for a lot of stuff that was about way before we was about, you know? And we're only human. So you're saying that every mistake that we make is going to be magnified and held against us, and it's going to be used to justify our genocide. We're aware of all this, you know? And that's where the pack mentality starts. We're going to run together. This is our uniform, you know? This is our postcode. We're going to rep this color. We're going to wear our pants like this. We're going to wear these hoodies. And as foolhardy as some of the behavior is, and some of it is stupid, to give your life away for a postcode, this is the only support network some of these black boys have. Yeah? Because the older black males are supposed to have a more authoritative position in their communities, but they don't. It's no different from Jim Crow days. I mean, the police can just beat people up in the hood, take liberties, and we just sit back and do shit. I don't do shit. Scared. You know? How are you going to impose yourself on a teenage boy? And he's probably got more heart than you. Therein that lies the answer of why you're having so much trouble with the black woman. Because she just sees that you can't do shit except wear shirts and ties. You're not affecting no change. You know what I mean? So if they are choosing thugs like some of you are claiming, I guess they're thinking to themselves, if they can't get no stability out of the black man, I'll just get the frills what come along with the thug. You know? Because what happens to a lot of black men when they earn a little change from working, they don't want to be rebellious. They don't want to talk up. They don't want to talk out against the police because they've got a little change in their pocket. They don't want to explore that rebellious side of themselves no more. So you might even have a decent job, but you're not prepared to shake up any branches. You know what I mean? And one thing I knew from very young, I realized is that the best looking women with the best bodies, they have choices, they have options, especially when they're, let's say, age 17 to 35. They have options and choices, you know, and power, not taking shit from nobody. Power, or even perceived power, is a crazy aphrodisiac, man. And that's not exclusive to black women, white women, Asian women, Islamic, Latin, it doesn't matter. Power. And thinking about it, you can even relate that to our youth. Why do you think they relate to rappers? They tell you in the thing, you come fuck with me, I'll take the strap, blam, I'll blow your fucking head into the pavement. Yeah? That means I'm taking control of the situation. You're not going to humiliate me and destroy my life. That's not going to happen. That's going to the base core of self-preservation and survival. It's not acting tough, despite what people want to say. It's self-preservation. And unless you're a faggot, there's no male who wants to walk around thinking that he can just be fucked with by anybody at any time. Like I said, it's all about results, man. It's all about results. You've got to play for results. When they're making their films and their soap operas, people are cheating with their brothers and their sisters, spouses and boyfriends, ripping off their best friends in business. You know? They kill people to get a buck and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's to keep your capitalistic juices at the forefront. That makes you want to go out there and get the latest designer clothes. You want to go out there and get the latest car. You know what I mean? You want to go out there and conquer as much women as you can. You know what I mean? And to conquer that, you have to get money, power. You know? That's what that's all about. You know? And our young black males who are the first to get targeted in stop and searches by the police, they're being failed by the education system, as pointed out by Lee Jasper, who is the assistant to the former mayor, Ken Livingston. You know, they're subject to all this advertising of the capitalistic system too, and they want theirs. They want theirs. Some of them ain't scared to die. Some of them ain't scared to go jail. You know? So they've got their little set. And yeah, it might look frightening to us, but there's love there because they've got their homeboys back. You know what I mean? Homeboys got their back. Well, at least until it's time to start snitching. But you know what I mean? Initially, that is there. That bond is there. You know, and everybody needs that bond to feel that someone's got your back. You know? Or there's somewhere you can go where your voice is heard, where it means something. You know what I mean? And if you're going to tell them to abandon that, you need to show them another way where there's at least the potential for positive results. And no, I'm not justifying them making the streets a chaotic place by any means, you know, because it's all free will. It's all free will. Even if you can show them a better way, it's still never running far away from the theory of bringing the horse to water. Yeah? You know what I mean? And that doesn't matter how young you are. You have to make choices. And sometimes you'll just get to make the one choice. You fuck it up, and that's it. You're gone. You're out of it. You know what I mean? That's it. Because life is that ruthless. It's that cold. You know? And we have to look at it like this. No other race is going to take sympathy on black kids. I mean, look how they treated Trayvon when he got murdered in cold blood. You know what I mean? They've been treating Zimmerman, soon to be in a Zimmer frame, as more the victim than Trey. You know, and that's just how things are looked on. And if no other race is going to extend the arm to our young brothers and sisters, we have to do it. We have to do it. And we have to give them real options. We have to create the chances and have to embrace them. We're going to have to be the living proof, the walking examples of what can happen if you study hard, what you can get out of doing that. Until then, they're just not going to see the value in it because there's easy money to make on the road. And like I said, results. They're seeing their elder peer groups living large of doing illegal things. They're seeing that, you know? They've got the best gal, I mean, driving nice cars. You know what I'm saying? They're getting up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and shit like that anytime they want. Got the bling, got all the right clothes, got the swag. You know what I mean? They got all them girls that some of you black men are making videos about, cursing out, saying, yo, these black women just want thugs. Yeah, they've got all them girls. That's where they are. You know what I mean? Getting Louis Vuitton bags on, popping their bottles and shit. Yeah, that's where they are. That's where they are. Yeah. So us older cats, we can look down on them and make judgments on them. But who are we really mad at? Are we mad at them? Or are we mad at the fact that we can't take charge of our communities while men from other races are just stamping their authority down, or at least it seems that way in the world, and taking charge of their communities? You know, they seem to have influence on their adolescent boys and their women. Sometimes it feels that we're out of practical solutions. Maybe if we could take some of that swag that we use to coordinate our clothes oh so well, if we could take that and somehow transfer that ability to coordinate in our communities, we'd be all right. If we can master that, we'll be all right. So I'm going to end this one here and say peace out. Peace.
Yeah, yeah. Loud J5. It ain't as easy as it seems. Delirious on the track. I said, we might as well do it again. Turn this collaboration to a classic. Yeah, yeah. You know the time wasn't breaking me, but it's great to be free. Fuck a 5 by 9, I got some places to be. Usually carry something that'll turn your face to debris. You got no clue what it takes to be me. These motherfuckers wanna ball, I'm in the game, so it's easy to see now. Ain't the way that you ball or you fall, it's the rebound. A lot of niggas holding them burners just to beat down. Treat you like me at the bar, give you a free round. That's all they really respect these days. This paper, this work, these K's. Time flies, but a prison sentence can freeze days. A lot of niggas killing shit just to appease babes, but not me. I move out to make dough grow. That usually determine which direction the hoe go. I'm about to quit the game, trademark me a logo, and just sit back and eat good on my slow flow.